about refugees in Indonesia, Pakistan refugees in Indonesia. It's a movie screening. And then for this month again on music. So as you can see, the topics are very different, but all present different aspects of this region. And the idea is to gradually build knowledge and share knowledge and experience about this region. So today we are very fortunate to have three women leaders, but with a passion for technologies. Yeah. So all three of them share a common passion. First, Ajahn Kamora, that I am very grateful because she is actually sick and she has just come back from Bandung, but she will be our first speaker, and she's considered one of them. Everybody recommended you when we look around for names, so you have quite a responsibility in this field. So this is the first speaker, and then we will follow from Diana Mendoza, who is also quite well known in the Philippines, and she is a journalist, and she also writes about women with women, so she can tell us more. And last but not least, we have somebody who is a feminist, what are you? Feminist digital expert or something like this, that combine digital expertise with feminism. So this, I think, will also be quite interesting. As you know, this topic is very broad. Many things are under this topic, from mobile technologies to internet, and also whether it's related to development or safety in the internet. So the range of topic is very wide. We cannot touch on all of them, but we are going to try our best to present an overview for the big complicated question. So please, Ajahn, you are the first. By the way, my name is Leah Shurkina, and I am the founder of Junction.
สวัสดีค่ะ It's very honored to be with you this evening. But okay, let's see. Actually, I'm not expert in ICT. I just am being the user of ICT to empowering the marginal people. That is my function. My university is a people university. That is only one listed university in Thailand. And then in this university, you can set up your expertise research center in any particular topic. So my passion is how can I use ICT to do the knowledge management and then empowering all the marginals. So this research center have done for about 2 decades already. So our mission is ICT for all. ICT for any of the marginal people in Thailand and also in the region of ASEAN. So since we are the academia, so once we move, many times that any time that we move, people will believe us because we are university. So we have to use kind of framework that we need to follow up. So we follow up the SDG development framework. We follow up our national development framework. We use kind of theoretical base to design any kinds of activity that we are doing. And also we need to getting along with the real phenomenon of the human being, of the marginalized. Even though you are the urban or the remote person, you cannot avoid the technology. This is a statistic from the Google. They say that in the last year, just only half of the world population is digital native. But in the coming 2 more years, everyone will be digitized. So even though you are the garbage collector, you are the janitor, you are the home-based worker, you need to be digitized. So this is the reason why. And then once we back to Thailand, I would say happy or not happy, I don't know. Like Thailand is the top in YouTube. We enjoy. This is a statistic from Google last year. So they are really enjoying. Yeah? And then once we work with the marginal people. They are really voices. They want to be a voice, they want to speak, but they never train. They have this. And then we train them how to use it. After that, we need to stop them. They really want to talk. So meaning that women is a power if you train them to have skill. So the strategy is that we train them is kind of what they are using. Just use that one. They use a mobile phone. They use social media. So that is the how. So this is the basic principle that we experience. And then after that, many people ask me that, hey, I want to train the marginal ladies and girls and kind of, what should be the topic? So after we synthesize our groundwork for about a decade to decade, we found out that even you have a super technology, they will never interest if this technology never let them have a money. They don't have money, they want the money. If technology is a magic that can let them have the money, they will use it. This is the interview direct from majority of them. So, okay, whatever training I will train with you, but the training have to impact to my family income. My pocket have to have some money. My kitchen have to have a chicken to eat, kind of that. So this kind of thing. So the first priority that we train them is how to use IT to let them earn more. And then the second point is we found out that there is a information gap among all the marginal people and the general people. Like for example, I'm 60, I'm 50, I'm 60. How much pension did you get per month? Do you know? How much? 60. How much pension that you will get per month? If I'm 70, if I'm 80, how much? If I have the handicapped kids, they don't know that the handicapped kid can have the right to get the free education up to the university education. Nobody knows. So when we work in the ground, I met the old lady. Grandma, how are you? How much pension to get? She said, I get only 100 baht. Actually, she need to get 900 baht. She never know whatever this kind of thing. So the second point that we let people use technology is how can technology can let them access to any fundamental welfare of life, free hospital, free kind of that. They seldom know. Even now about the farmer credit card, they don't know. The poor credit card, they don't know. This kind of information gap is exactly very big in our Thai society. And many of people ask me, I never feel that there is some gap among the urban and the rural. I never feel that there is a gender gap. I never feel that there is some income gap or society status gap, because you are the middle class. But once you are in the marginal level, you can see a lot of divide. You see a lot of gap happening up. That's kind of. So the second point that we use ICT to help people is access to the fundamental information. And then the third one is once they are firm with the tool that they can use, how can we let them voice out their dignity, their pride? I met many of the artisans in the rural. They are the ones that making silk for our queen. Whatever she produced, the queen will buy it. But nobody knows that. So once she can get kind of the digital training. We train them how to write the nano story, write about your kind of local wisdom, kind of that. Since then, she become to be somebody in the community, this kind of thing. So this is just only 3 principles that we prioritize them. First, we train them how to be the digitalized, like we are the co-founder of the Thai Telecenter that is about 2,000 telecenter all over Thailand now. And then many of the Wi-Fi spots. Many of you might say that, oh, it's not so effective, but this is just, it keep happening now. It never happened before. So since I have worked for the marginal people for many decades, I found out that during this digital era is a global era that the marginalized people can access to the media, and then they can convey their content to that. So all the training that we do is a training that support their real need. They want money, so train them about how to seek money. Train them how to use mobile phone for any kind of startup. Use any of simple technology, corporate technology, kind of. So many of the artisan product and local wisdom coming up. And then we try to mix up their lifestyle. They have nothing to do, so they love chit chat. Many foreigners saying that, oh, Thai people love chit chat, but actually all the women or the human beings love chit chat, but Thai people might be a bit more because they don't have something to do, right? So okay, if you want to chat, you chat among your group, you chat among your professional area, you chat among your artisan production group, kind of that. So we mix up this simple technology together with them, and then many of them say that I cannot make it, it's impossible. So the idol, this is the daughter of the village head. She become to be the kind of rich lady in the village after she got trained with technology, kind of that. She says since she was young, anytime that the queen have the annual festival to sell the silk, she has to help her mom to carry a big ton of silk on the buffalo cart and go to went alongside of street for the bus, kind of that. But right now she use online, kind of that. So this is the how that we try to prove to the marginal people that we can make it, right? And then I already told you that they enjoy with this. So what they enjoy, let them learn from what they enjoy. So we have produced the massive open course online to let them learn about the startup, community startup, smart farm, kind of that. So this is all the example of the free academy. And then I just showed you some example that this is the top popular one, massage and spa. Yeah, I know it, but nobody certify it. Okay, you learn from us, you learn from your mobile phone, then you go to the certified center, then you got certificate, then you can go for a legal worker to Japan, to Philippines, to Indonesia, to Norway, any places. We certify, so we are a very small organization. We work as a partner. We work with a partner, so the one who certify is the Thailand Professional Qualification Certified Institute. This kind of. The second hub is the community tourism, fashion design, community fashion design. The cotton or the silk or kind of that to be more kind of. And the fourth one is the food design. You sell pad Thai for $1 US. How can you sell it $3 US? You need the food design. So this is the one among the popular one, right? And then this is the top one, because you might not know that right now many Thai people are unemployed. So they need a job. So this is the job that we collaborate with the Thailand Professional provide the Japanese learning move for them. So they must start people. Once they have no customer, they can learn Japanese, and then once they can learn and pass the course of 60 hours of Japanese, they can go to the go to the certified center and then got certificate, then become to be a legal worker. This kind of, so you can imagine that ICT in a simple way can change and make a power of many of the marginal people. And just imagine that at the beginning, when I was young, 20, 30 something, when we talk about marginal people, I cannot figure out who are they. But once I gain some more experience with them, found out that majority of the marginal is women and girls in the real situation of Thailand, right? So they love to do startup. Okay, let them do what make it more smart. So how to make it more smart, we have to partnership with them. Very luckily that we have the Italian volunteer to work with us. They are very smart. They say, hey Ajahn, if you produce like this, nobody will buy you. Do like me. And then she got volunteer and worked with us for 2 years, and then talk to the women and girls that what the asset you have the silk, you have the cotton, you have the any kind of, okay, let me try. And then for example, like the fashion. If you want to sell online, what particular fundamental information that you need to have to meet the standard price along with your local wisdom still there. So we keep training these women more than 100,000 by the online courses. We have only 6 full-time staff, that's it. Besides from that, we work as a partner with the telecenter and with the partner. So, and then after that, they learn how to create the online business. And then Princess Lincoln also knowing this, then she said that you might know Suksa Songkrak, Macha Songkrak, the school for the marginalized, you might be abused, you might be your parents might be somewhere else, you might be HIV, you might be somewhere else. This school is for you. And in this school, the princess saying that you have to track. First, you can be a medical doctor, you can be anyone. Second, if you don't want to study more, you have to earn a living. So we train them to use ICT to earn a living. This is all the kids. So we train them how to start up their own shop. So last year we pilot with 20, and this year we be more 50, and then by the end of October, all the school will come together and socialize among them. And then we cannot go to all the school because it's very far. So we just set a hub in the middle. We just set a hub in the middle, and then we control all the schools by the online basis. So if this shop have a good hub, okay, you come to us and then we show this kind of thing. And then also among the urban poor area, the low residential area like Indang, Hue Quang, we also have this kind of girls and women, nothing to do. So we train them how to use ICT, and then this kind of girls, after they got training about ICT, they can use Facebook, social media kind of, and then they can PR about the activity, this kind of. And this girl, they are invited to dance for Princess Silinton or many princess, and then after that they got some money and then they can go to school, this kind of thing. So I would like to share you kind of that actually the marginal people they have the capacity, but they need the kind of the turning point. So I think that ICT is a turning point, kind of this kind of local wisdom that we try to ask them that hey, what can we do together? after farm, you have nothing to do. If you don't produce any kind of product, why don't we do some kind of smart farming, this kind of thing? So we contact with FAO and many of the agency to do it, and then they become to be a farm startup. Many of the coffee bean produced and middlemen got it, and then once they can sell by themselves, they got triple price kind of thing. So this kind of thing happening up, being empowered, this kind of co-working space. So we can see some kind of before and after. And before, they never got trained in kind of, but after they got trained, everything is better. So this is the statistic in the last 6 months, last year. They sell a lot of product online. This is the first ever that they can sell. And then by this year, we train them to be more professional, to be like more professional marketing platform like Lazada, Shopee, and Etsy.com. So English, IT, artisan integrated together, kind of that, bit by bit, by small number. So this is some of them. And then I would like to say that the fundamental of them is train them about the digital literacy first, and then make it meaningful to their life, and then it will be very sustained. So this is the work that we work for about 2 decades. That once people have food to eat, money to spend, they will be very firm and confident. They start to voice up. They start to care of the other people. They start to be one of the leaders of the community. And then the right of the people, the right of the community, anything you keep following up. At the beginning, we try to train them with a book like this. Okay, what is a women right? What is the kind of that? They never interested. But once, okay, let's just see that what should we do together, and then later on. So by this year, we can see a lot of momentum of the ICT for marginalized people to move. Like for example, like Mr. Mobile Phone move. The non-formal education department was under Ministry of Education. You adopt the move into the alternative subject, meaning that the marginal people all over Thailand, you learn the move from whatever. They are not forced to learn, but they are select to learn, kind of that. So I think that the story about ICT for the marginalized, even for the girls, is very easy. If you have the passion, if we understand them, if we exactly know that we need, we can work with them very happily. So I think that right now, many of them still waiting for you all to work with them. So let's see how can we work together. Thank you so much.
Now we go to the second speaker, Diana from the Philippines.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
Good afternoon. I'm so happy to see a few gentlemen. Every time we talk about women's rights, it's always the women. In the Philippines, every time we talk about girls' rights, there are girls around. But I see a few gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. I want to count, but anyway. Okay. My presentation will be short. I don't have a lot of pictures. And well, this is the Philippines. First of all, I'm a journalist by profession. I started as a news reporter when I was young. Right now, I do other things. I'm an editor also. I'm into television. Sometimes I do development work. So I know what's going on in development. Sometimes in humanitarian field. Okay, I'm not techie also. I'm the professor. She's not techie. I'm not techie. I don't even know how do you know this? That's okay. We're in business. These are on how many people have access to the internet, how many are on Facebook. Well, it's all in there. It's the source is it's a background of how many men and women have access. It's 105.7 million. And I don't have a lot of pictures. And the next one is, okay, there are 67 million out of 104 million Filipinos, or 60% of the population, who are media savvy, meaning they're in social media. The Philippines actually has like 60% are 24 years old and below. So you have a lot of young people. I'm not part of that age group anymore. And then there are like 47 million who are active on Facebook. I think you should know that a lot of Filipinos are on Facebook. They fight with each other. They have friends all over the world. I think a lot of Thais also have friends all over the world. You are global. Because the Philippines is the fastest growing up market in Southeast Asia, according to a study. And then online gender divide. There are still Filipino women who do not enjoy the same rights as men online. We have access, but some women don't have the same rights as men. So it's still the men who have more access. And there's a study of 10 countries, and the Philippines is one of them, who are not yet achieving the SDG goals for 2030. In terms of access and content, we don't have a passing score. It's 4 out of 10. And then 5% of women have access to mobile financial services, meaning you have a plan and you have a load card or something like that. I mean, they have to have money to buy access when using the mobile phone. And then affordability, it's still the same. We have 6 out of, well, it's still passing, but only 6. It's not a really passing score in terms of free Wi-Fi in public places. There's a new telecommunications company underway this year in the Philippines, and a new broadband also, but it's still a plan. And I mean, journalism, I know the news, but it's not yet there, so I don't know what the government's plan is. And then skills, it's still 5 out of 10. 79% of the country's schools, the ones we call them elementary schools, we call it primary school, I think, or basic secondary schools, they don't have internet connectivity. And there's an uneven level of investment in digital literacy. Some children know a lot, some children are techy, others are not, so especially in the rural areas. Online safety. The Philippines is in a very interesting time right now. And there's a lot of movement going on. The government is, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak actually, but there's a lot of harassment going on online and not online, even physically. What's it, 7 out of 10? Okay, it's pro-women laws. We have, the Philippines is always on top 10 or top 12 of the, in gender equality. The Philippine women have rights compared with other countries. But in reality, it's not that. We have laws, we have a Magna Carta for women, for example. We have anti-rape, anti-harassment laws. But the situation is, it's far from ideal, actually. It's still, the women are still harassed, the women are still get raped, and all that. And okay, offline and online, yeah, as I was saying, Filipino women face harm, sexual violence, and discrimination. The government has some plans, actually, like we have a Department of Information and Communication Technology. This department came in when the new government was installed. They have training, for example, on women, bridging the gender gap, and children and mobile technology. And this is in cooperation with GSMA and APT. These are global innovative orgs on technology. And then we have the Department of Education also has some ICT programs. And then they train students on math and science, to be sharp in math and science. There are many young people who are no longer interested in math and science. And in Aid of Technology, they teach these children math and science through, they like to tinker with their phones, their tabs, and their computers. Another one, there's an alternative learning system. They do training for out-of-school youth, those who are not enrolled in some form of formal schooling in the Philippines. NGOs have, they also have partnerships with NGOs. They targeted 10,000 women. I think this is still ongoing, but they have yet to measure if it is successful. A lot of women activists always say you bring the marginalized women to the center. When we discuss about women, you bring those poor women into the center of the discussion. You don't leave them behind. It's always like, I'm quoting some of them here, like they always say, you involve the district, the grassroots level communities. You work with NGOs, with civil society, because they are the advocacy organizations. They're the ones who have brighter ideas. Unlike those in government who are trapped, probably they're not too creative because they're in government, so there are many restrictions. And always have in mind the human rights-based approach. I'm citing one advocacy organization here. It's called the Forum for Family Planning. This is the organization of Chi Cabildo. And then they have they are in 5 provinces in the Philippines. They have a message board, something like this. I just had a screenshot. And then they talk here. For example, they have a youth group member, and then they put their messages here, and then who's going to have a training on, for example, sexual rights or reproductive rights, and then they talk here. There's another one also, they do this. They have a social media advocacy team. These are mostly young people. And it's like, they call it the base camp or air table. It's like when you do a campfire, and then you throw questions on the round table, or you form round groups, and then you just discuss anything from there. That's their social media advocacy group interaction platform. And they have Demand RH, for example. Women and young people chat in this. It's like an app, but it's within the organization, and they talk about, they share about their experiences in reproductive health, reproductive rights. They will be testing a new program called Mom Chat, Municipality Optimized Maternal and Child Health Tracker. It's for young mothers, I think, and it will be in a remote village in Taytay, Palawan. Palawan is one of the most beautiful islands, they say, in the world. Okay, there's one. I'm citing samples here now. The Safeties Hackathon. It's fighting sexual harassment on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, you're walking on the street, you're wearing, I don't know, a short skirt, a long skirt, whatever it is that you're wearing, and then somebody harasses you, they catcall. And then there are 2 cities who signed the law. They enacted the law about anti-sexual harassment against women and girls. Manila and Quezon City. And this is a project of youth and women in the Philippines. This is an explanation. What is the hackathon? How do you join the hackathon? How do you share your experiences on street sexual harassment? There's also a babae ako, which means I'm a woman. This came about, it's a movement, it's a media campaign launched in 2018, and the President of the Philippines, I think it's in one of his announcements or statements, he was harassing women. I think if you know the news, I won't go into specifics, but this movement came out when one of the netizens or females, and I think she's also in media, she formed this group, and then she asked women we should fight back. So, and then we should use social media to do that. We should tell our president not to degrade women, not to be, I don't know, obnoxious, not to belittle women. Because at some point the president said he doesn't want a woman to succeed him in case he dies or in case he resigns. The vice president is a female. So, and then what else? He talks about genitals. I don't want to go into specifics. I think you've seen him on TV also. And there's one movement called Multiply. There are a lot of Filipino overseas workers in the Middle East. And they formed this group. It's like a secret group. It's not public. So every time a Saudi Arabian woman or a Filipino woman I think it's a joint project. Every time there's a man hits another woman, they report it online and they share it. And then they decide, do we share it publicly? Yes. Do we share it outside of Multiply? There's also one help OFWs. OFWs means overseas Filipino workers. On Facebook, we always see posts of a female worker who says she's being abused. Her passport was confiscated by her employer. Can you help me? So they help her. They publicize it. They repost it on social media so that the embassy, for example, the Philippine embassy in Saudi Arabia, can help her, can spot her when can she ask for assistance or something like that. And this is also like a secret site. It's not public because it's difficult when you go public. This is our news website, Women Writing Women, or we put this up 2 years ago. All of us are women writers. Some men want to write, but we said, you can write, but you can use a female byline if you're a male. So this is one of the write-ups. It's also, kaya instead of babae ako, I'm a woman movement. And this is one of the articles I wrote. It's anti-sexual harassment project. I think these were the models who modeled, they modeled clothes, and then for example, one of them has a jacket, and then when she removes the jacket, there's a word there that says pok pok, meaning pok pok is a sex worker, or slut, you're a slut, something like that. That's how men and other women call them on the street. You're a slut, you're pok pok, you're something else. This is one of the movements that I mentioned a while ago that were enacted by 2 cities, the anti-street sex harassment. So I think this is the last slide. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat. I want to take a picture of yours. Thank you.
Okay, so this is short, but we will have time to interact later on. So last but not least, no PowerPoint for this techie.
Thank you.
Very good evening, everyone. So I'm Tita. I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia. Since English is not my first language, and I don't have a PowerPoint, I actually wrote some talking points, a long talking points that I might just gonna read it. So it's gonna be fast. And by the way, I'm an activist, also feminist, as Liz mentioned earlier, Leah mentioned earlier, and I'm also a digital security trainer. So there's a lot of initiatives in all over the world and also in Indonesia as well, in regard to the use of ICTs for women, right? As our friend from Thailand also have mentioned a lot of initiatives in Thailand, but also in Indonesia that happen a lot, especially on the economic side of it. For example, in Indonesia, there's a lot of women, and mostly young women, use Instagram to sell things. They make clothes, they're young, aspiring designers, and then they sell their clothes or products on Instagram, and also Line and Shopee and everything. But that doesn't, so my presentation will actually show a bit that a lot of those initiatives actually failed, because there is this one root problem that hasn't been addressed during all of these years, especially after the UN UN through the Internet Governance Forum launched this topic, the next billion, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So as we know, women and girls all over the world have taken advantages of the digital technology, from looking for or sharing information, to expressing themselves politically and or sexually, to making money, to participating in public debates and discourses, to promoting their work, to campaigning for their causes, to organizing movement and building network, to finding hookups and or even relationship, to just being there, showcasing their paths or what they eat today, In more than a decade, women have been powerfully using technology to amplify their voices and the voices of others as well. But if we look at the demographic, it is still concentrated in the urban areas, especially big cities, and dominated by middle-class women and girls who have the privilege to own gadgets and get connected to the internet. Although I don't want to negate that there is a growing number of women in rural areas who also now get connected to the internet. But overall look on gender digital divide is still very much wide. In 2013, a survey conducted by the International Telecommunication Union, a specialized agency of the UN, revealed that there is 200 million fewer women access to the internet than men. And it is said that the number can double up within 3 years if no action is taken. But unfortunately, it's been 5 years ago and there's no newer survey that they do on this to see whether or not they have overcome this digital divide, or it is actually wider now. So the next billion program of the IGF for the last few years have talked about it, but no achievement have been made. It is because the approach carried out was not addressing the root problems. When we talk about gender digital divide, we should also not just think about how many women and girls who have access to the internet, but we also need to talk about the contents. As someone from Wikipedia told me a couple of years ago, the editors and the content of Wikipedia are 80% men. This is also the case with other content on the internet. This is something also related to the geopolitics, class, and also language. They become the factors. I think it is me personally, I'm always interested to talk about in terms of this, whose knowledge counts, whose voices counts. Of course, the first one would be white men from the global north, and then the second one would be white men from the global north as well. Like for example, I'm not sure if you are following, if any of you are, interested in the topic of feminism. If we talk about feminism, it's always, that white feminism from mostly America, from the US, whose writings, whose articles are out there for all of us to read. But there's not much content on feminism, for example, that came out of this part of the world, Southeast Asia especially. So what is the problem? We all know the answer. It is patriarchy that we have been fighting against in our offline world. In the very personal level, patriarchy has isolated many women from having control and access to digital technology. One of the approaches conducted by some private corporations and governments in the next billion programs, for example, they build infrastructure and distribute computer and smartphones to many women in villages. The pilot project took place in India and Africa, hoping that it would make women in the household to be able to get connected to the internet. While in reality, right after they were given computers and smartphone, the men in the family, which is the husbands and the son, took over the computers and the smartphones. So, and even in bigger villages or cities where women own smartphones, men control what the women can and cannot access. In the cases of girls or unmarried adult women, the mothers do the same to them. In higher level, there are censorship policies by governments to many contents that are needed by women. For example, sexuality and reproductive health and rights information. In Indonesia, all of this information are censored under the category of porn. There are more than 800,000 sites that are being blocked under this title, this category of porn. So this patriarchy, furthermore, making technology is still very much dominated by white young men, as we can see in the case of Silicon Valley. Those who build the infrastructure that we use now carry their biases, gender, race, nationality, physical ability, and etc. in their work. As one example, in the UK, that made the news in 2015. A woman doctor called Louise Selby was locked out of the female changing room in a gym because the people creating the algorithm registered the title doctor as male. Another example was a research conducted by JAMA Internal Medicine on artificial intelligence-powered smartphone programs such as Siri, Google Now, S-Voice, or Cortana in 2016. When questions about rape and gender-based violence were asked, the best answer that they can give was, "I don't know what that means." Some even came up with jokes as answers. After a public outcry, after this survey or research was launched, finally they reworked the programs. But actually in early 2018, I tried Siri again, and my question was, "Hey Siri, my husband is hitting me, what should I do?" And Siri cannot answer it. Siri said, "I'm not sure I know what you mean." But actually earlier today I tried again, and Siri now understand and then give a lot of options. I mean, it means that there is a way to do it. It's just they don't really want to do it correctly. It has to be from people, from us, to push them to create the right algorithm so that it can serve a lot of people, including women. Yeah. But these are only two of the many examples on how existing infrastructure is very biased and excluding women from online space. After that, then we can talk about online violence, where our friend from the Philippines have talked quite a lot. So I'm sure all women in this room have experienced, and also men, experienced or witnessed it one way or another. As the UN survey in 2015 shows that 95 violence and harassment online is targeted to women. But when we talk about online violence against women, we should not forget that it is very much connected to offline violence. So this is my personal experience, I got a lot of rape and even death threats online on Twitter and on Facebook, because I use those platforms to voice up. I'm an activist. I campaigned for my causes on Twitter and also Facebook. So I got a lot of these rape threats. There was one time, it was in 2011, when I organized a protest, a miniskirt protest in response to a statement by the governor of Jakarta saying that women were raped because of what they're wearing. So me and friends organized a protest, and we promoted that protest online, right, on Facebook. So I got a lot of these rape threats saying, you deserve to be raped and etc. But there was this one threat that really got me afraid, because this threat came from a person that know me personally. So they know where I live. Not only that he made that threats on my wall, but he also sent me a message, the private message. So I went to friends, lawyers, and then also tried to go to the police to file a report on it. But they said they cannot do anything. The police said they cannot do anything because it doesn't happen yet. So I was like, this is a very double standard, Like, if I come here and report someone who said that they are going to blow up a building, you will act on it. But when I file a report that someone is is threatening to rape me, you cannot do anything because it's not happening yet. Yeah. So this is the problem. I think it's not only in Indonesia, but it's all over the world, that the online violence is seen as something that is not tangible. So that's why the law enforcement don't want to act on it. There's a lot of cases on this. A lot of cases from all over the world. There's a website that is very nice. It's a global campaign called Take Back the Tech that actually document a lot of these cases. And one of the things that we need to see that online violence doesn't stand alone. Online violence can often become the extension of offline violence, and also online violence can actually happen in offline violence, for like a follow-up. For example, what happened a lot now, a lot of cases, the growing cases of revenge porn, for lack of a better term. It's not porn. It is a revenge sometimes it's not. But it's not porn. But we haven't found the right term for this. But there's a growing cases of revenge porn all over the world, including in Indonesia. So it becomes a way for men, revenge porn becomes a way for men to extort women of money or sex, or simply to humiliate and silence women and girls. A lot of strong-voiced women decided to leave the internet because the violence they face becomes so unbearable. So the only way to address this issue is by fighting patriarchy, by reclaiming the technology and the online space. From encouraging more girls and women to learn and study technology and participate in the building of the infrastructure. So in Indonesia, for example, me and my collective, we are trying to conduct some classes, coding classes for girls mostly, but it's also for women if they want to do it. To basically encourage them. Technology is also for women. Technology is also for girls. If you graduate from high school, you can go to technology school. You can study technology in college. So that is one of our way to encourage women or girls to do it. To learn digital security as an immediate strategy. This is like a very, what you call that? I don't know what you call it in English. Like a short-term solution. Because, of course, in the long run, I don't want to be a digital security trainer forever, because it means if I am still being a digital security, that means the space is not safe for women for a long time. So it's just an immediate strategy. And then to occupy the online space together by building global solidarity, as we have seen it a lot. Also, what is very important is to participate in the global internet governance spaces. I don't know if any of you have participated in internet governance forum. It is conducted every year. They're talking about internet governance, including about women, but there's only few women there. So our faith, our life are being decided by all of these white men from the global north. So I think it is very important for women, especially women from Southeast Asia, to really participate in that kind of spaces. Not only in the global forum, but it's also the local forum. There's a lot of countries who have internet governance forum as well, but it's also similar spaces. And then also to push the lawmakers to come up with legal avenues as remedies for online violence against women and girls. There's only a few countries in the world who already have this kind of regulations, but most countries, and I don't have any knowledge, any Southeast Asia country who have that kind of laws. So I think this is the time for us to push all of this agenda forward together. Thank you.
I invite all of these speakers. So I think we got three complementary presentation touching on different aspects of the issue of digital divide and literacy for women. So I will take three questions. Yeah. the first three questions, and then we will give the chance to the speaker to reflect. Annie, first. Okay, first introduce yourself and then discuss.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and thank you. Hello. Hi, my name is Jennifer. And thank you all so much for coming and speaking about digital literacy. I was particularly interested in your experience with security. In your opinion, what are the best ways to sort of get women or rural communities into this sort of platform? Like there seems to be a lot of steps in between. Like, what do you think the next 5 or 10 years of getting rural women into the global conversation around digital security?
Okay, two more questions. Okay, yes, please.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I work for UN Women. And thank you for the mention of the Philippines project we're doing on safe cities. That was very nice to see that. I have a question about the term marginal women and whether migrant women are being seen as part of that marginalized community that you referred to, the first speaker. And then for Tita, I'm super interested in everything that you've just said. I mean, all three of you, of course. But your issues that you've raised on safety, I thought were super compelling. I appreciate your call for people to be participating in these big governance spaces. You're absolutely right. We need more women there. What do you see as promising, I guess, in terms of getting women interested, knowledgeable about opportunities to engage in that kind of higher level governance space? I'm curious to know. And secondly, do you see progress in the Indonesia context about getting women, I guess, active and informed in terms of their own safety and dealing with these issues, these very real issues of, sexual violence that's online as well as offline? Thank you.
More than one question.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's good. So last chance for this round. Anyone more? Otherwise, we just go to the speaker. Maybe starting this time from Tita, and then we go the other way around.
Thank you. The first question is actually very hard to answer. Digital security for rural women? That's not much. So I think in a lot of places, except there's some experience in Latin America, they're more advanced system of that. But in my own experience, talking about digital security with rural women, still in a very, what you call it, we haven't done that a lot. Because we are in the stage where we are trying to get rural women connected and then use digital technology for their life, for whatever it is, for their economic empowerment or for their causes. Because, for example, I work with women farmers in Kundun Mountain. Previously, they don't even have cell phone, that dumb phone, they don't even have that. But then when their farms are being taken away by the cement factory, and then they become an activist fighting against this cement factory, they feel the need that I need to tell the world, we need to tell the world what's going on here so that we can organize or mobilize support and solidarity. So we're teaching them how to use it. And then, but of course not just, okay, here I said this is Facebook and etc. But we do a very simple one. We don't want, because a lot of them, they didn't even finish elementary school. So even navigating the cell phone is hard enough. But at least a very, I don't know if you know, but I hope all of you know that the first entrance to digital security is actually password. Password to your devices, password to all of your accounts. So at least we do that. And also for example, teaching them or telling them that their data can mean a lot for other people.
usually we don't talk about using this word, this big word like privacy and everything. But it's just, your data, your information, your photos, your messages that you send to other people can mean a lot to other people. Yeah, it could be politically, it could be commercially. So you have to be very careful in storing data in your phone or devices. I think there is just that is the stages that we are on right now. But there's a lot you can actually read up online. There's a lot of really good lesson learned and experiences from Latin America on that I can give you some reference. And then the second and the third question. You know what? I've been talking about, to be quite honest, I've been talking about online violence against women in Indonesia since 5 to 6 years ago, and no one really picks it up. In one side I can understand, because like I said, a lot of people think that online violence against women is not something that's tangible. Like basically, you see women bleeding, like really bleeding, being beaten up by the husband and wife offline, and you want to talk about online violence against women. That kind of thinking that made it so hard to really try to make people or even women activists realize that this is very important, that you cannot really see online violence against women as a separate thing, as a standalone cases. But now in the last 5 or 6 years, there's a lot of cases going on, no? A lot of them, and especially that I think this is also what happened. The phenomenon in the global level really helped us in Indonesia to realize this. Oh, this is real, And especially the cases of porn defense, like I said, and also there are some, unfortunately, public figures, women public figures like a celebrity, experienced online harassment, and a good thing for them that they called the perpetrators out publicly. And the backlash was so big because a lot of people, men and women, they actually blamed her for doing that. But this actually helped to make a lot of women activists realize that this is real, that this is important to be addressed. So I am so happy that this year the Women Commission is taking up this issue and will put online violence against women as one of the types of violence against women. Actually, unfortunately, they are having a meeting today and tomorrow, and they invited me to be in that meeting, but this meeting have invited me first. Yes, I had like a month ago. but yeah, so that is the progress. What was the other question about? Oh, the internet governance law?
Yeah.
What would be the opportunities? Oh.
How are you trying to engage people in that
But
space?
Also, I think there's a lot of also experience from a lot of women like me who's working on these issues. But one experience that I have in Indonesia to get women actually really think about it. Because here is this thing, there's a lot of, I've conducted a lot of digital security training or workshop on technology for women activists and communities. And a lot of them in the past, they turned my invitation down. Although it's free, I give like 3 days, 5 days training. I said it's free. But there was this one, I remember there was one response from like a really prominent woman activist saying, what's so feminist about technology? So that's what this is. So I was trying to get to tell people that this is actually, this is very feminist, like in any other part of our life is very feminist, no? If it's not, then we have to reclaim that part that is not feminist yet. So my success has been to show the history of women in technology. That actually women have been playing a big role in technology from Ada Lovelace in 1840, who created the first algorithm that is now used to build the computer, the modern computer that we use now. There's not many people know that, no? People who know Alan Turing, but they don't know Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace was the first to write the code, the algorithm. And then the mother of the internet is the mother of the internet. That's why it's a woman, Nadia Dorman. And then there's this Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr is the woman who invented the frequency hopping spectrum that is used as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi that we use now. So when I told them this history, and there's a long list of women, even in the game industry as well, a lot of girls and women got excited about it. Like, oh yeah. So, and then even in the history of the internet governance, women have been there since mid-90s. But then we got pushed out during all of this time because it's always the same women, the number is not growing, it's always there, it's all these women. So that's why we got pushed out. Yeah? So, but there is, there's opportunities. There's a lot of progress as well. Every year, there's more women. Still fewer women of colors, and even fewer women from Southeast Asia. But I think this is our task now, to get more women, especially from Southeast Asia, to be in that spaces, both in the national level, regional level, and also global level. I think that's all.
We have a mission there, yeah. Okay, now let's go to Diana first, and then we do the other way.
I want to share an experience regarding your question. There's an experience in Cambodia. It's called Pink Phone Revolution. I think in 2009, I was part of a project of Oksam GP in Cambodia. This involves women farmers. And then they're given pink phones. It's really pink. And then they're given an app or something like, it's an app. And they can, everybody can be updated there on if there's a typhoon coming, a storm, and then where's the better market for potatoes, for the produce. And in that phone also they can secretly message other women in their village if their husband is hitting them, is hurting them. So it's also against what they can improve their agricultural produce, their planting, their farming. They can also report if they are hurt by their male partners. That's one. And I think from Oxfam and UNESCO, it became a program of the Commission. I don't know if there's a department or commission on women in Cambodia. It's still called Pink Phone Revolution. I'm no longer part of it. I just wrote the articles about it, and then I went to the farms. I interviewed the farmers. Of course, they speak in Khmer. Somebody translated in English, and then back and forth. So it's a little bit. It was difficult, but the women farmers were very happy that they have this tool. Actually, they call it a weapon. We have a weapon now against men, and it was. Well, I can understand why they said that. Okay, they have the tool, they have the pink phone, and then they can fight back, and then they can also have better farming innovations, and then they can bring their farm produce to the market because they are given updates on which market wants to buy more tomatoes and potatoes and vegetables and something like that. And migration. If I would want to cite the Philippines, there are many, migration in the Philippines is female. I think 80% of migrants these are Filipinos who go outside the country to work. Are females. And I don't think they're marginalized because a lot of women who are outside, a lot of Filipino women working outside have access to social media. And I think those who are marginalized are the women who really don't have access to the gadgets. It's one basic thing, and if they can't afford a gadget, they can't afford, they are in very remote area, they are marginalized. So I don't know how, as Nika said, I don't know how we term them or how we put them into the center. But in the Philippines, there's always an effort by activists and advocacy groups who include women in the discussion. They are in the grassroots levels. They are working there. And they're not in the news every time, but they're working. Right now in the Philippines, it's election time, so it's an exciting time also. It's elections from senator to town mayor. And a lot of things are going on, a lot of promises to women especially. So it's an interesting time again, but then as I said, they have to include more women and girls in the discussion, especially on development and the economy.
As I say that right now the people stay online, so I think that even who they are, just let them connected, and then once they get connected, then we can communicate with them, and they themselves can communicate with the others, and then. The most important thing is once we work with many of the marginal people, we found out that they really want to change, they really want to jump, but they lack of knowledge. So I think that with the partnership model, any expertise in any particular partner, we need to do the knowledge management and design the knowledge for them and then put it online, and then that can make all the marginal people cope up with any changes. For example, like right now, many of the marginal out school youth, they want to learn about MOOC because it's a policy now. So we cannot train all the nationwide. We produce a very concise MOOC video clip for them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let them learn by themselves with the mobile phone. That can educate immediately in a mass number of people. So I think that by my experience, ICT is like a magic. We need to take advantage on that and then let them connected. Once they get connected, then we have automatically social protection, and then everything will be better.
What about whether migrants are part of the marginalized?
Yeah.
For the work you are doing, you're also reaching out to migrants? Or?
Yeah. So I would like to say in the phenomenon of Thailand, Bangkok is very crowded now, right? And then once we have the ICT, meaning that the ICT can create the opportunity. So there is a turning point that people make a U-turn to the natural. They get back to the hometown, and then they can create the creative economy, homestay, digitize, artisan work, kind of that. So I think that in-kind or indirect migration is a happily hometown back home, kind of that. So my work with ICT is more on empowering, kind of that. So be a friend with the ICT and make use from that.
So this is more internal migration, not but okay, so last round, we have not so much time. If you have any pressing question, 1 and 2, okay?
All of your projects or initiatives, there are choices and mainly women. Well, you were talking about the paramount system, and I also need it should be also addressed. How do you apply in digital technology or initiatives with men, or is it just other?
question.
This question is for Monica. Alright. I'm not sure if you have heard about the issue from driver harassment. So recently, there has been a lot of reports from the victims, from the women in Indonesia, where they got harassment from the Grab drivers. So I would like to know, like, is there any progress that you are doing toward this issue or anything about it? Yeah.
I'd like to do a last question for all the speakers, because now we are assuming technology is good. So let's bring all these women into the technology, but we are going to be controlled by few people in the future. It's a negative view of the future, right? Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, 4 or 5 who control information and all the rest. So is this good, bad? How to take control rather than, so what is the vision of the future? Because here the assumption is the more women are all connected into the internet, the better will be for all of them. Now the second, of course, is the use of the internet. We are assuming it's knowledge. We look for knowledge, but we know that a lot of the use of internet is for and games and other. So how you compete, how to make sure people want to see your training and not do something outside on the internet, because this is one of the more difficult issues to get the attention of. And finally, there are quite a lot of programs now initiated, like the one you mentioned, to connect women to market, migrants, put the phone, cut the broker, etc. Do the work when the project is finished. Because we know about how this project starts, but we don't know if we continue after the project is finished. I know Rockefeller did quite a lot of work in Africa to connect farmers to the market. But does it really work like that, even if you cut the broker? Okay, this is the final question. Short answer, please. Who wants to start? Very short.
Very short. Patriarchy is still a tool of men to intimidate women, to belittle women. But right now, what's going on, I can cite my country in the Philippines, boys and men are now part of the discussion. You have to nurture boys to be able to make them more sensitive. Feminism is not fighting men, it's not fighting boys. Well, you have these white men in the global north, or so, yeah, they've been there, they have the money, they have been controlling Silicon Valley and all that. But then the trick now is to include boys and men in the discussion, as I said, and probably we can fight patriarchy that way. When you include boys, you teach them how to nurture, you teach them how to talk with girls and women. And I think there's also a big problem now in societies where feminism and the advancement of women do not include boys and men. So I think we can talk about equality when the men are also there. So we are marginalizing men actually when we do that, when we don't include them in the discussion.
It's a tricky question. I have a little bit different takes on this. I completely agree that we have to involve men and women, and it is a big movement now to involve men and boys in the in the movement. But I think we need to be also critical to that movement, because what we have seen worldwide, when with all of this male feminist movement that is going on, there's this another layer of privilege received by these feminist men. For the same things spoken by women feminists and men feminists will get different response. Men would be that, all this standing ovation, We've seen it. We've seen all of these male Hollywood celebrities just talking about feminism, and people were like, giving an applause. But with the same, things that women said about feminism, they get threats. So I think we have to be really very careful. We need to involve men and boys, but they should not be in the forefront. Yeah, it should be a feminist allies. That no, actually, this is also like a lot of people said, men should open the space, should empower women. No, we don't need to be empowered. Women can empower ourselves. You just need to move away a little bit because you are crowding all of this life in the world. To be quite honest, I mean, saying that men empower us, it's politically incorrect. It's humiliating women as if we don't have power to empower ourselves and other women together. So I think there's a lot of conversation that needs to be opened up in this kind of issues to know where women and men position in this feminist movement. But I just want to highlight that it is very important to involve men and boys. It's just how we're doing it there should be more conversation for that. And the Grab taxi, there's no progress yet. Grab still, the company still refuse because this is the response is to invite the victims and the perpetrators to sit together in one table to talk, which is that is not the way with sexual violence cases. So it's still stuck in that process now.
The success
The success?
of some of these programs.
I mean, well, that's but you know what? I want to. I'm so sorry that I am being critical to almost everything. but this, I think, this migrant that someone said, it's a perfect example. I want to use it as an example to how a lot of this digital or ICT has this ICT innovation have opened up spaces, opportunities for men, as a lot of people said. But in reality, like I said, again, sorry if I'm being critical, it is not always the case. Here's the thing, like migrant worker, for example, it's a great example where women can go abroad and make money, right? So it's like liberating in a way, they can make their own money, but at the end, who controls the money? They send the money home. If the husbands of the men in the family is still home, the money controls that, money made by the women. The same thing with a lot of these ICT startups, projects for women. Well, they are selling this stuff online. They know how to navigate this thing, making their economy, more empowered. But the money is not controlled by them. It is still the husband and the husband or the men in the family. I don't want to talk about on behalf of all the countries, but at least that's what happened in Indonesia, and in a lot of studies actually, or survey or research that has been done in other countries as well. But hopefully Thailand is not like that. Or the Philippines. I think that's all, but I think, let's, the ICT, and when we talk about virtual life and real life, there's no virtual life anymore. Our online life is our life. There's no, I know what you eat today. I know what you wear today from your post online, no? It's our life. And like most of the hours in 24 hours of our day, we spend online. So it is very important for women to actually reclaim it, to have our space there. Because we have the same reasons with men to be online for whatever your reasons are. I think that's all. My closing statement.
Last words of
I think that in we are staying in one of the ecosystem, men, women, IT, kind of that. We are in the same ecosystem. So meaning that we cannot leave anyone behind. We need to literate. We need to literate IT to all the levels. You just imagine that sometimes there is a lot of movement on the groundwork, but at the policy level, they don't care, kind of that. So I think that the ecosystem of the IT have to go in a holistically way. Policy have to be educated. Or the partners, because the world jumping, the world is very jumping. You alone, one organization, one university, one agency cannot cope up. So I think that my organization is, we make decision to do knowledge management. We pick up some particular knowledge that is most priority and then serve the most urgent kind of that. So we cannot do anything alone. So in the holistic system, ecosystem, we need to educate them with the IT literacy. That's the first. And then the top level of IT literacy, how to utilize them in a simple way. Even they are men or women, we don't care. We have to go together in this ecosystem. We cannot let anyone out, even they are men or even they are rich, even they are poor. So I think that if we can educate all the whole system, we can work more easier. And then one alone cannot do it. We need to seek more partner and work it out, and then make it like a component of our daily life. That's it.
I think we have applause, yes please. We have a lot to be done in this field. This is a fascinating field, I think, what we have there. I am very happy that we have 3 women and no men, by the way, talking on this panel, because often it's the contrary, right? And we don't feel sorry about. So I also don't feel sorry about having 4 homes. And I think Junction always does an effort to have women well represented, and especially people from the region themselves who vote for themselves. And I consider myself kind of also regional, because so many years of living in this region. But besides this, Junction really hopes to foster more about this discussion of technology and gender, because as we see it's quite complex and we often don't know much about. I think it is important to know more about the development aspect, the economic aspect, but also about the political. Does it really lead to empowerment of women or not? And I think this was raised, and I think we need to pay attention to that. We facilitate money returning home for migrants, but then not the control of the money. And these are very important questions for all who work in this field. So thank you for coming here.